Tactics are not super important, but if used properly, you can pretty much guarantee that you'll never lose a single tile anymore. And we can see that best in this battle because we have a 44% chance every single time that Guerrilla Tactics is selected. And Guerrilla Tactics is the most disgusting tactic out there. There's no way to counter it. Everybody loses 50% combat width. The enemies lose 70% damage. And you're in mass mobilization, so you have all the HP that you ever would want. And you have 22% reinforce rate, as well as a chunky infantry division, so nobody will be able to push you here. We'll also talk about the doctrines in a second, which tactic you should pick for each doctrine and such. But for now, we need to take a look at actually just explain tactics. On a very surface level, every 12 hours, everybody selects a tactic. Right now, the Japanese have the initiative here, which means they have an easier time countering us if we have tactics that can be countered. For the most part, none of this actually matters. You don't have to worry about it. All of this is an auto. If you have higher recon or a higher skilled general, then sure, you will have the initiative. But for the most part, it's not really something that you can influence anyway, so it's mostly just, you know, just so you know it's there. We can select a countrywide tactic. This one we can change however often that we want. And it only costs us 20 phones the first time that we assign it. There's no upkeep cost. So you can just do this whenever you have phones left over. There's really no harm done in just swapping them out if you are in a pickle and you need to. If you select this as your preferred tactic, then you have a higher chance of selecting it in combat. So let's just select mass charge for a second. And then we also have the general and field marshal preferred tactics. These can only be set once. So Tu Yuming has preferred tactic Guerrilla Tactics. We cannot switch out. We cannot swap over to mass charge anymore with this guy. So if we use him for defending for the first 2 years and then we want him gone, we have to get a new general. It's not a huge deal, but you know, there's no way for us to give him mass charge. We can give our field marshal mass charge, which also gives us another 25% chance, and we can also give a general a tactic and then give the tactic another 50% chance to be selected. So let's give him mass charge, and we can also give Wei mass charge. And now if we attack with these troops, we now have mass charge available. Mass charge is one of the tactics that has a requirement. We need to have the frontage filled, so we need to have a full, well, front line in battle. Otherwise, our generals will not be able to select mass charge. So let's just select, for example, these 4. And then we go over here. And you can see mass charge is not available. With this window, you can also see all of the weights. Once again, doesn't really matter that much. Like every tactic has a base weight. And then there are some tactics, for example, Blitz, who have a higher weight if you have, for example, Panzer Leader in your general. And one thing I also forgot, there we go. We can also increase the chance even more by selecting an army spirit. Sadly, there is no army spirit for guerrilla tactics because that would just be busted if you could get 60% chance to select guerrilla warfare. But I mean, still, 60% chance to select mass charge every 12 hours. That's really good. This is the high end though, because every other doctrine gets a bunch more tactics, which you might say is good. It actually dilutes everything because with more tactics around, you have less chance of selecting very good tactics. Okay, and this is the part of the video where I have to make the joke that the best doctrine is the subscribe doctrine. I have documented in this sheet, as always, it is down here in the doobly-doo. These are the only ones that are from the doctrine. I did ignore country-specific ones. I did ignore the basic ones. I also ignored the city-related ones since I mean, they exist. It's cool that they exist. I like that they exist. But you're never gonna pick them. You don't really care that they're... Like, you don't really care about them. You care about them that they're there, but not any farther than that. In terms of the things that you should look out for, the, in my opinion, strongest one is Breakthrough. All of these I've put as priority 2 are also really good. What's really good about these is they are not countered by anything. Then we also have Breakthrough, which is my favorite. It is Blitz, but just better. It deals more damage and it's not countered by Elastic Defense. And if we take a look at Elastic Defense, everybody gets this except for Mass Charge. Every other doctrine gets a counter to Blitz, so it is just bad, because the way counters work in tactics is if your tactic is countered, it doesn't do anything. It doesn't do half. No. It just straight up doesn't do anything anymore. Which means Blitz is literally useless. It's good in the early game, but after a certain point, I mean, sure, if you have a higher recon value you if you have a higher initiative, then it's still up to chance if the enemy picks Elastic Defense. In a normal battle where you can't guarantee that you have the initiative, you will still be countered 50% of the times. Now, Infiltration Assault is just really bad because it doesn't, like, 10% attacker damage, 5% defender damage. Wow, okay, cool. Mass Charge is the only one that you have a requirement for, is the front edge and having reserves. But if you're playing Mass Mobilization, then, I mean, you do have very chunky infantry division, so it's not really something that you need to worry about. It just pretty much means that if you want to use mass mobilization, you do need manpower. Otherwise, like, the doctrine still works, yes, but it's not as strong as if you had manpower, which I guess that applies to every doctrine. But you get what I mean. I did say that Breakthrough is my favorite one, just because 50% movement speed, 25% attacker damage, and minus 15% defender damage is a lot, and it gets only countered by Backhand Blow, which not that many doctrines get access to. Only Deep Battle, which is arguably the worst doctrine out there, and Mobile Infantry, which sure is good, but there's not that many countries that will spec into it, just because it's mobile warfare, and all you need is skill advantage of 1, which, okay, but if you have the 50% hardness, then you have this guaranteed, and if you spec into it, you also want this. If you don't gun for it, then all of these are still fine, because these are all of the offensive tactics that every doctrine gets. So Superior Firepower likes this one, Mobile Warfare likes this one, Grand Battle Plan likes this one, Deep Battle likes this one, and then Mass Mobilization likes this one. So every doctrine has one that's okay. It's just Breakthrough is just so good. With the defensive tactics, I did something a little bit different, just because guerrilla tactics and tactical withdrawal are so much better. Normally, I would have listed the best one for each doctrine that you can pick, but these are just so much better than all of the other ones. Just the fact that he reduced the combat by minus 50% and tactical withdrawal pretty much counters all of this. This is honestly the only one. The only tactic that actually counters all of these tactics, simply because if tactical withdrawal kicks in, we don't go into the normal battle phase, we go into the tactical withdrawal phase. And that one is pretty much just guerrilla warfare, because you as the defender have one chance of either picking withdrawal and or evade. So both of these are really good, and the enemy has one of 3 tactics to pick. The enemy does not get access to any other tactics. They only get access to these 3 tactics. No matter which doctrine they pick, they only get these 3. And if the enemy picks one of these 2, then again, this is just guerrilla warfare. The only way to get out of this is by picking intercept or canceling the battle, and honestly, canceling the battle might just be your best bet at that point, just because this can just slog the advance down so much. I mean, if you want to take a look at the rest, I mean, it's neat. I don't really think knowing all of this matters. Like, the fact that Japan gets Banzai Charge, cool. Am I gonna do anything with this knowledge? No! And in this video I analyzed every land doctrine to find out which is the best one.